love living in New York. And, well, okay, I lived in Portland for a while. I'm not a big fan of Portland, and this is why. You cannot cry on public transportation in Portland. I'm not saying it's against the rules, although it might be. Because as soon as like one little tear drips down your cheek, somebody's offering you a Kleenex or a vegan cookie. Or sliding scale energy work. But you could cry on the bus in New York. You can cry on the subway. Nobody cares. You can carry a severed head on the bus in New York. Nobody cares. You could carry your own severed head. Nobody would say a thing. But I have found that there are limitations to what New Yorkers will allow you to do on the subway. My grandma used to say that dignity is wherever you carry it. But that's because my grandma never peed herself on the B train. So I was taking a trip from Philadelphia to New York, and the mega bus, they had a mega bathroom that was mega disgusting. So I was like, I think I'll just go at like whatever, the Starbucks or Fair Trade coffee shop that's right across from there. Probably. I can make it, probably. And then it turns out the Starbucks bathroom was out of order. So I was like, it's all right. I'll just, when I get off the bus, I'll get on the B train, and I can make it home, probably. The probably is the problem, usually. And so I got on the train, and it was doing that little kind of thing you do when you jiggle your leg, which somehow helps you not pee yourself. And I always do this thing when the B train goes over, so it goes out of Manhattan, right, and goes into Brooklyn. And as it goes up, there's like this beautiful vista view over the bridge, and you can see all the water, and Brooklyn on one side and Manhattan on the other. It's really beautiful. And I always try and say this like little, I don't know if it's an affirmation, I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I'm so lucky to live in this beautiful city. Right? That's what I always do. And the problem is that requires just a little tiny break in concentration. So the moment I decided to do that little affirmation was the same moment that the B train came to an abrupt stop, and then an abrupt start again. And I realized, oh, I'm peeing myself on the B train. Now, in fairness to my bladder, that's such like a lesbian processing thing to say, let me be fair to my bladder. Let me make sure my bladder feels heard in this story. We'll have to achieve consensus with all my other internal organs. But what organ would block consensus? So in fairness to my bladder, I am 43 years old, and I drink a great deal of Diet Mountain Dew. So I understood that my bladder was trying. So it's just one of those things where I was like, you know what, I think this is just going to be a thing. I'm not really peeing myself. This is just a thing where I'm going to have to change my underwear when I get home. I'm sure it won't even show, probably. And then I hear this like drip, drip, drip. And I realize that a puddle of urine is actually forming around my feet. So I put into use all my hot childhood disassociation skills and tried to pretend that I was just somewhere else. And I was like, you know, nobody's going to notice. They're all busy. They're all reading their Kindles, probably. What I didn't account for is I was in the very back of the car. And remember I described earlier how the train goes over the bridge? So we were at the very apex of the bridge, but I was in the back of the car, right? And then we started going down, which meant the puddle of urine around my feet changed into a stream of urine down the entire length of the car. I was like, they won't. They're New Yorkers. No one will even care, probably. But when we pulled into the next station, everyone got out but me. So there were 2 more stops to my house, right? And I was like, okay, well, I can just sit here, I can dissociate, I'll be fine. Just need to get that far. And then we get maybe 2 minutes out from my stop, and I think, I don't actually know if my pants are going to, it's like kind of like seats that have a little dip in them. I don't actually know if my pants are going to absorb all this pee. And that means when I stand up, there'll be a puddle of pee, and somebody else might sit in. I told that to my girlfriend, the lifelong New Yorker, and she was like, yeah, Kelly, because New Yorkers, when they get on the train, they think, there's some unidentified fluid there. My pants are entirely too dry. Smartass. Anyway, I'm not saying the logic was flawless, but it occurred to me I should probably label it. Again, I'm not saying my logic was flawless. And so I, rifled through my backpack a little bit, and I found not a Post-it, although that would have been perfect. I found a 3x5 card and a highlighter, big Sharpie highlighter, and I put, this is P, arrow. I see you've all done this as well. See, it makes perfect logical choice. And so I actually didn't have any tape. I wasn't really prepared for this particular situation. I wish I would need to label the fluid that I had left on the subway seat. So I took a Band-Aid out, and I put the Band-Aid on it. And it occurred to me I couldn't actually put the sign on until I stood up. And I was like, all right, well, there's going to be a little, tricky little thing with timing, right? Because I'm not going to want necessarily this to be a full theater production. So if I do this right, I'll be able to stand up, stick the sign on, and then run out the door before anyone sees me, probably. My timing's not that good. And you know what time it was? 3:20. You know what happens at 3:20? All the kids get out of school. You know what's across the street from the subway stop where I get off? A high school. So I kind of just misjudged a little bit, and the train doors opened, and I'm putting on a sign on this puddle of pee, that says, this is pee, and 8,000 teenagers come into the car. And I was like, they're not going to notice. Probably. And you know what I heard? The simultaneous sounds of 8,000 camera phones clicking. And I was like, well, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure they won't put this on YouTube. Probably. Thanks a lot. I'm Kelli Dunham.